Welcome to the House of Life Dialogues, a podcast for the brave, the visionary, and those building sacred lives in a modern world. I am Maria of Egypt, and in each episode, we explore grounded wisdom, sacred entrepreneurship, and the art of choosing love over fear. This is not a performance, it's a remembering. Welcome to today's episode. We are going to talk about how to choose love over fear in real life. So, what is love really? Love is the frequency of the universe. That's how everything was created. The frequency of source, God, or universe, is pure love, unconditional love. And that's how everything has been created. We as human beings carry the same frequency, and we carry different other frequencies, and they all come from love. But when we act out of love, things start to become better, and we create things that are actually meaningful. But we can choose to act out of fear or choose different other frequencies that we can create from. We are not really conscious all our life whether we are choosing out of love or out of fear. Being programmed early, when we were little children, up to 7-year-old, we would get programmed about how we are going to choose our life and how are we going to act. Is it out of love or out of fear? And it depends how we grow and how our caregivers have given us enough space to express ourselves and be acting out of love, because that was the purest form. We can be conditioned early on to act out of fear, to be people-pleasing, to be codependent, to choose to survive and abandon ourselves. And it runs in the background. That's how your subconscious runs. So it's very important to realize that the biggest step in your transformation or your spiritual journey is trying to boil it down to these two frequencies. Are you acting out of love to yourself and others, or are you acting out of fear? When I talk about acting out of love to yourself, it's because God lives in you. And if we, because I come from Christian background, the main two commandments is love God with all your heart and love your neighbor like yourself. And the closest version that you can see for God is actually you, because God lives in you. That's the divine in you. So if you don't know how to love yourself in a healthy way, not a selfish, egotistical way, then you wouldn't be able to love your neighbor or love anyone around you, because you don't know what healthy love looks like. It looks like honoring yourself and honoring your truth, respecting your boundary, creating a boundary, being able to own the space that you're in, being able to be authentic and, be accountable for your choices and the consequences for these choices. If you are acting out of love for yourself, you would be able to grant others the same thing, so everyone can exist in love and peace, because they can be themselves without trying to fit in or trying to people please or trying to manipulate their way. So I believe it's crucial for everyone starting their spiritual journey, whether in life or business, to be able to discern whether they are acting out of love or choosing fear. Since we are living on earth for thousands of years, the main frequency for this material reality is fear, because it keeps you surviving. That's how everything is made. That's why it's dense. So I don't mean it in a negative way. It's not a bad thing, but it's what keeps you surviving. So you would always be faced with a choice of fear or love in small decisions, big decisions. It's harder actually in big decisions if you didn't practice self-love and self-trust. So I would say it's really hard, because when you are around people that operate in fear, that they are not, living authentically, or they are not living in alignment with who they are and their authentic expression, it's difficult for you to maintain the frequency of love while the frequency around you is fear. To try to explain it in a better way, you really need to get to choose the people that you're hanging with. You are the collection of the 5 people you spend the time most. So if you are spending time with people that are celebrating themselves and celebrating you, that they believe in their own vision and they believe in yours, they give you space to be yourself, it's easier for you to act out of love rather than fear, because it feels safe. But if you are around people who are behaving out of fear, it's very difficult for you to pivot out of this because of the frequency around you. We are always bombarded with fear through media, through the news, through social media, through things, through war, through everything happening around us. It's kind of boxing us into this state of fear, because that way you can be controlled. But if you break free in your own frequency and choose love, which is something so internal, it's not easy, but it can be done. So when you choose love, you stand out of the crowd and you gravitate towards people who are resonating on the same frequency. So what does it really mean to act out of love strategically in life and in business? It's a technology, I would say. It's a technology. It's something that you cultivate within yourself, just like building a muscle. So the more you practice acting out of love, the more choices you make out of love for yourself and others, it is easier for you to take bigger decisions, even strategic decisions in businesses, because you are not doing it only for yourself, you are doing it for others as well. That depends on you, your team, your client, everyone you come in contact with. It amplifies your frequency. If you are in the frequency of love, you start to gravitate people who believe in what you're doing and ready to give it a go. But if you don't behave out of love, if you behave out of lack, or if you behave out of fear, you attract people to your frequency that carry the same frequency. They can even be more people because they resonate more with fear, but it doesn't mean that this is really aligned to your authentic expression. So it's very, very important to practice making choices out of love, even small ones, like spending how much time on social media, or what you are putting in your vessel to eat every day. Is it really in alignment with what you believe in, your ethos? Are you getting well hydrated? Are you spending time with the people you love? All these small choices shape your character. So there is a lot to it more than this, but I think it's very important to practice it like the love muscle, I would say. Sometimes choosing to be in the frequency of love can look like weakness, because it's quite subtle or quiet. It's not as loud. Sometimes choosing to act out of love can look a bit like you're weak. You're choosing the easy way out, or you're choosing not to retaliate or taking revenge or something like that. But it's actually the most strong position you can take, because acting out of love is always going to come back to you and others tenfold. Whatever you send in the universe, whatever energy you're sending, whether it is love, fear, anything, it comes back amplified. So it's actually a radical, strong stance to be acting out of love, even if people perceive you as being weak. At the moment, you wouldn't see it as amazing or strong, but you would realize down the line that always choosing out of love is the best choice, because it comes back to you tenfold. So to wrap up, I would say practice acting out of love every day. Maybe once in the morning, once in the evening. Try to journal about it. Try to ask yourself how many choices I made today out of love, and how many choices I made out of fear. There is no shame or criticism. We are just practicing it to be able to build our capacity to act more out of love and sending more of love frequency around us. Your body is your temple, your vision is sacred, and your courage to live it, that's what builds a house of life. I am Maria of Egypt. Until next time, walk boldly, live wisely, and choose love.